Nestled along a busy highway near Long Island's Merrick train station, there sits a subtle grave. So subtle, you could almost miss it. In memory of Roxey, Long Island Railroad dog.
This is a story everybody should know about, and obviously when Roxey lived, everybody did know about Roxey. Supposedly, he knew more about the Long Island Railroad than the passengers, and he could make some really great connections from Greenport to Riverhead to Manorville to Eastport out to Sag Harbor. Then he knew to take a different train, go out to Montauk.
Ralph Peters, president of the Long Island Railroad, made Roxey an official mascot. And that's not all. Roxey had a bank account, rights above all passengers and trainmen. He could sit in any seat he wanted, and he had a special collar made.
They gave him a special collar, and he wore the tag, and it said, "I am Roxey, the railroad dog. Whose dog are you?"
He also made some big headlines. We're talking presidential big.
One day wandered into the private cars being used by President Teddy Roosevelt, and he lay down on the bed. A porter came in and wanted to, boot him out. He refused to budge. Teddy Roosevelt came along, and he heard about Roxey and found that he was important too, and the two of them rode to Oyster Bay together.
Roxey spent 15 years as the railroad's mascot until succumbing to edema on March 11, 1914. His death made national headlines, but for more than 100 years, this modest roadside grave was all that was left of his memory. That was until this past spring.
The first thing that struck me about Roxey was how beloved Roxey was.
Sculptor Ronald Lipsky is no stranger to grabbing attention with his art, especially dogs, which is why he was the perfect choice to give a celebrity dog like Roxey his day in the sun.
I thought that Roxey ought to be way up in the air, and I thought about it, about Roxey going on a pillar of some sort. But then I came across a story about Bessica Raich, who was the first female solo airplane pilot in the United States.
Another Long Island native who soared to great heights. So, in a bit of an unconventional choice, Lipsky chose to depict them together, with Bessica lifting Roxey high into the air. A 20-foot, 6-inch statue now stands tall over the Mineola train station, ensuring that Roxey will forever be able to greet his fellow passengers on the Long Island Railroad.